Welcome to the special meeting of the Simsbury Board of Selectmen, April 24th. It's virtual only, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I feel like I just messed that up. It's like always the fear that you're going to say it wrong. So we have two items on the agenda tonight. The first is the operating budget, capital budget, and referendum questions. So we have a bunch of motions to make. And then the second item is approving the budget mailer. So everyone in their packet has the agenda item that lists all the changes that were made at the Board of Finance meeting at the last public hearing on April 18th. And it summarizes each item and pretty much the impact on where it hits. I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. I don't see Amy on here.
I have just a couple notes from Amy. She's off this week.
Okay.
Much deserved. So one item from her is that the document that the listed changes omitted one thing by accident. It was the capital contingency line item for emergency repairs, unanticipated capital cost overages, or matches for unanticipated grants, which was funded at $100,000 from capital reserves.
Great, thank you.
And then,
okay.
Sorry, I have one more note from her that the line item that says the $100,000 for the sorry, 1 second. Funding from capital reserves, and if expenditures are needed, it still has to go through the formal process of approval from the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance.
Thank you. I do want to say, Tom, thanks so much for all your help and sticking through all those meetings. And Amy's not here, but we can all thank her and have over the course of the last month and a half. Any questions on that before we get into the budget items? Okay. So we have a bunch of motions. I'm going to read a bunch of resolutions that each one will require a motion and a second, and then we can just keep moving through the list. This is the Board of Finance final resolution and referendum questions. The first item is be it resolved that the appropriation recommended and approved by
Wendy, I think you need to read the pursuant to section 808 of the
Okay, charter. Sorry. Thank you. I wasn't sure. Pursuant to section 808 of the town charter, the following motions were introduced at the regular meeting of the Board of Finance on April 18th, 2023. Thanks, Tom. Motion 1, be it resolved that the appropriation recommended and approved by the Board of Finance for the purposes of paying the expenses of the Board of Selectmen annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 20th, 2024 shall be approved and implemented in the amount of $31,679,397.
Mr. Sean, I'll move that.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
I think Heather did, but she was on mute. Were you on mute? Okay, you could do the next one. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Be it resolved that the appropriation recommended and approved by the Board of Finance for the purposes of paying the expenses of the Board of Education annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 20th, 2024 shall be approved and implemented in the amount of $81,576,437.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Second.
Be it resolved that the appropriation recommended, somebody's on delay, recommended and approved by the Board of Finance for the purposes of paying the expenses of the sewer use fund, sewer treatment plant, residential rental properties, Simsbury Farm / special programs, non-public schools, debt retirement / capital, and capital non-recurring annual budgets for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024 shall be approved and implemented in the amount of $1,714,930.
So moved.
So, okay, so
Second.
yeah.
Wherever Amber. First or second, either one.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we move on to the referendum questions. In accordance with sections 406, automatic referendum, and 808, duties of the Board of Finance on the budget of the charter, the recommended operating budgets will be submitted to a referendum in the following forms. Questions for referendum ballot. Number 1, shall the appropriation recommended and approved by the Board of Finance for the purposes of paying the expenses of the Board of Selectmen annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, be approved and implemented in the amount of $31,679,397.
Move that.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Shall the appropriation recommended and approved by the Board of Finance for the purposes of paying the expenses of the Board of Education annual budget for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, be approved and implemented in the amount of $81,576,437?
I'll
Move that.
Okay, that was
Second.
Eric. I'm not sure who was second. All
John,
those,
second.
okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Shall the appropriation recommended and approved by the Board of Finance for the purposes of paying the expenses of sewer use fund, sewer treatment plant, residential rental properties, Simsbury Farm special programs, non-public schools, debt retirement capital, and capital non-recurring annual budgets for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024 be approved and implemented in the amount of $1,714,930?
So
Move
moved.
that. Second.
Second.
Thanks. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, and then we need a motion to set the automatic referendum for the budget. Move to set the date of Tuesday, May 16, 2023 for automatic referendum pursuant to section 406 of the town charter from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Henry James Memorial School, 155 Firetown Road.
So moved.
Move that.
Amber got it. So Sean, that was you?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, and now we move on to the list of the capital items.
Yep.
Okay, so the first motion is so that we don't have to read all the pages in the back. So upon this motion, seconded and adopted, the reading into the minutes of the full text of the resolution set out below, which is in the packet for anyone to read, is waived. Copies of the resolutions have been made available to those in attendance and recorded in those records immediately preceding these minutes. Someone move that.
So move.
Thank you. Am I on delay or are you guys on delay? I feel like it's like,
Well, trying to, give my colleagues something to move, and I don't want to steal all the movement, so I don't know.
well, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so I'm gonna,
Aye.
okay, and then the last one is resolved that the Board of Selectmen recommends and approves the following items. Amber, would you like to read all of those?
I want to make sure. So you want me to read like all of these CIP projects for the rest of this page? Okay, the general purpose projects, bonds, and,
Yes.
okay, I will be happy to.
Thank you.
Okay, general purpose projects, bonds, highway pavement management, bonding, 1,100,000. LoCIP grant, 156,500, town aid road grant, 243,500, general fund, 200,000, sidewalk reconstruction. That's
That's a
is
separate
for-
project.
Yeah,
So the project and then the amount on the right.
right. That's the project. And the amount on the right is $1,700,000.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
The sidewalk reconstruction project is the next project, and that's $223,400.
Yep.
Replacement elevators, $877,500. Old Drake Hill Road Bridge rehabilitation, $1,989,000. Multi-use trail connections and development, bonding, $279,500, transportation alternative set aside grant, $343,500, and project savings fund 523 for $184,000 for a project total of $873,000. Bridge improvements, Climax Road over Nod Brook, $372,000. General purpose projects, non-bonds, golf course irrigation system, $454,000. Highway plow, truck and plow, $261,000. Meadowwood barn restoration, $650,000. Eno building infrastructure, $389,440. Bridge improvements, Firetown Road and Barn Door Hills Rehab Local Bridge Program Grant, $402,500. Sewer use assessment funds and grants. Primary clarifier, $1 million. Sewer replacement, $1,075,000. And grit system, $250,000. School projects, bonds, security improvements, $250,000. And Terriffill modulars, $500,000.
Okay, I'll move that.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, so that's budget. Now the next item.
Oops, sorry, Wendy, just, so the other thing was on top of that, was the, Board of Finance mentioned that they eliminated one of the mechanic and parks position. Amy mentioned that either you can do that tonight, kind of decide between that, or if you guys wanted to take your time and do that at another meeting. Totally up to you on that part. But
Oh,
it's
thanks,
in
Tom.
the- Yeah,
The way I heard it, and Eric and Amber were there, was that we might want to wait until we get our interim town manager on board, to talk with us about where the need might be the greatest. That would be my preference. I don't know if others have a preference here.
I mean, I thought we already prioritized it, so I would go with the priority we already did.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't know how the new town manager is going to make the determination that it would possibly be better than what the experts that are tasked with those areas have already determined and asked for.
Well, one thing they did bring up in the Board of Finance meeting was that there were other positions that we're going to be looking at, including the social worker, and that we might want to look at the open positions in total, not just focus on these two.
Well,
So we can do that, but that's another budget year. So we could always have that conversation. But I mean, for 23, 24, we already had the conversation, and it was it was maintainer, and then it was mechanic, because I thought how the ultimate rankings came out.
Oh yeah, I don't have the rankings, so Tom, you would have to provide the
Yep.
rankings.
Amy provided me those, and that was the, that was kind of how the 6 of you kind of laid it out, was police officer, maintainer, then mechanic.
that's the consensus. That's the consensus ranking. I don't agree with it, but that's the consensus ranking. And to the point of to my broader point, we're going to continue to do this, and one is going to get sacrificed because of some other priority. So let's just nail them down, deliver what they want, and move on to the next ranking of requested positions.
Can you repeat how that voting went? Because I thought after the police officer, I thought that it was 3-3.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of curious how that was going
Yep.
to work out.
Yeah. So it was kind of so I have the tie for second between parks and mechanic, but third place overall was mechanic, which would put the parks maintainer second, because 5 of you put the police officer first, but Chris put the parks maintainer first. And then after that, it was 3 people had parks maintainer second, and 3 people had mechanic second.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so someone want to make that motion?
So I move that we include the parks position in the 23, 24 budget.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, that motion carries. The next item is the proposed budget mailer. Everybody's looked at the mailer, I assume. And when does that go out, Tom?
We will get it to the Board of Ed tomorrow or tonight after you approve it, and then it'll go to the printer person tomorrow and then out as soon as possible.
Okay.
We are still in line
so-
for it to get to homes before the referendum.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I move a motion effective April 24th, 2023 to approve and authorize issuance of the fiscal year 23-24 budget mailer as presented. Staff is authorized to make changes as recommended by the SCEC or town attorney.
Move that.
Second,
All those in favor say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Okay, that motion carries. I think that's it. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Adjourned.